Sorry. Hey, everybody. I started it and almost ended it at the exact same time. So slow down a little bit. Super excited to have my friends. We're waiting on one more. So hopefully he joins us soon. But with my friends here talking about the 75-day hard challenge that Michelle put together. And thank you for organizing that. And get the idea and the
No, thank
stream
you
going.
guys.
Yeah, and can't wait to hear about
I
everybody. Tell us if you're watching this. Tell
well,
us
I
how
love
you
hearing
did.
how
Hi,
I
Jody.
love hearing how everybody took it and has done their own spin. Like Angela created her own little group for, accountability and supporting each other. And I know Melissa Spencer has done the same thing with about 20 people. Um, I know one of the brokers presented it to his office as a challenge, and he presented it in a way that if you did certain things every day, and did the whole challenge, there were different ways to get like R4 paid for,
Oh, wow.
get your E&O paid for. And I'm
Wow.
like, I love this.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
I mean, a little
we talked
motivation.
originally. Rene said his link isn't working.
Yes, I see that. Y'all keep talking. If I am disappearing for a second, I'm
Yeah,
going to try to
yeah.
resend it to him. If
Angela
I
and I have
still
no
see
issue
you, y'all talk. Y'all
chatting.
keep
He
talking
We're
may
about
both
have
it.
gone
talkers.
to the other link, is like not the the
Let me
one
just.
that was out a couple of days
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, y'all keep talking. I'll get
yeah.
him over. I'll get it over
So,
to him.
Angela, tell me how you ran your group.
Well, we met once a month, and everybody's busy this time of year. So, I mean, we even did a wind down night where we did it like an evening, and everybody just brought their drink, and we went over a few things, um, and tried to you know get motivated. And some people were just really busy, and that's okay.
That's okay.
It's the market. And then, of course, in my group, we've got several different time zones, and it's hard to hit everybody at a perfect time. But
Yeah.
overall, I think it went really well. I think we had all talked about, and I need to send out an email. We had all talked about doing like sometime in October a 45-day challenge
Ah,
to
Mm-hmm.
rev us up for the beginning of the year.
That's
Kind of
right.
following the 75-day, but at the same time, um, you know, figuring out, okay, what's working, do a better job of figuring out like a time for everybody to be able
Right.
to attend, not necessarily everyone, and then do it once a week instead of once a month. Because,
I like the once a week, even bi-weekly.
yeah,
cool.
but,
Hello.
and I know a lot of
Mhm.
everybody in my group, or in other groups. Hey, Renee.
Hello.
Renee, you look amazing.
Hi, thanks. The
And
hospital does wonders.
oh, and your pesto the other day looked phenomenal.
It is.
Well,
It's really
So
good. We've already gone through a couple of jars. They eat it like it's candy.
yeah, it looked great.
Pesto goes with a
Well
lot of
done.
stuff.
yes, it
Yeah.
does.
And last
Mich-
night we made zucchini bread.
wow.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, I will tell you, the comments are right on your face. Do you want me to take those
I,
down,
I see that now.
or is that kind
I
of
liked
funny?
it when it was in the other
Hold
window,
on.
but
You
they're
probably could
right.
slide it over to the other side of Renee
I don't have the ability to. I don't
since
think
he's in a smaller picture.
So
I don't know
here,
how
if
to.
I turn it now,
Oh,
I
there
don't
you
think
go.
I have the ability to
but
move
I
it.
have to sit like this the whole time.
Do you want me to? You want me to turn it off?
No,
I
here,
I can
like
I'll
turn
to
it
just,
off.
see it
oh,
so that we can see who's coming in.
well,
On
it
or
was
off?
kind of nice when it was over there and we could see a few people commenting or coming in. And
Yeah.
so,
Okay, we'll put it
yeah.
back on. So I will tell you on the 75-day challenge, I presented it to my team. It was kind of like whoever does it, does it. And honestly, we have so many different things going on that I did not keep up with what they were doing, but it made me very cognizant of what I was doing. And I rolled it over to Grayson, who everybody should know, my youngest daughter that just got licensed in March. And with doing so, I was doing it side by side with her and showing her the importance of being well rounded and being able to do all these different things. And in retrospect, I will tell you, year to date, and I cannot even believe I'm saying this, I just pray that it continues. My
Right.
personal production has doubled any
Wow.
of my best years in 18.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been rather amazed.
I
If I
think
keep
Michelle's
going,
is kind of the same.
has it, Michelle?
I would say yes. I'm having a pretty phenomenal year. So
Keep selling those
I'm
$5
very,
million properties.
hey, I'll take them. So, but I have one at 3.75, phenomenal views, very similar to that one. Different type of home, but the views are the same. And, it's sitting, but those big ones have a tendency to sit,
Yeah.
and you only get a couple showings, and from that you'll get the buyer, but it can be
Well,
hard. It's
I want to
hard
say
for
something really
sellers.
quickly. Sorry. I see Nadine Blakely's over there typing in everything. And I do want to do a shout out while I have her on there listening, because she gave me 2 referrals between her and her son. They each gave me a referral, one for a buyer and one for a listing. And we've closed both of them in the past 2 weeks. So thank you, Nadine. Love you and
Oh, I
appreciate
love
you.
Nadine.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the market has picked up here. I mean, anything from 3 to 750 goes fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I have 2 referrals closing this month, and they were like first time seller, first time buyer, and one I just showed the other day had multiple offers at like 550, and then another one at 750 had a lot of interest, but they took ours, which we showed it the first day, and I said, well, if you want it, we need to make an offer, and they got it. So a lot of things picking up. Listings, if they are staged and in good condition, they'll go quick.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
A couple months ago, we only had enough inventory for a month, and now inventory's up and we have inventory for 3 months. So it's educating your sellers
Yep.
where the market is at. And, the buyers are taking their time. No buyer feels like they need to write that offer, the first hour something's on the market. So
Well, I'm glad
it's
about that,
quiet,
though, right?
but all of a sudden I've got a lot more buyers, and typically I'm more like a 60, 70% listings. And I would say right now I'm a 50-50.
Wow.
So I'm
question
okay
for
with
you,
it.
Michelle, with your production doing so well this year, do you think it's because of the 75-day challenge?
Well, I took a lot from that when Robin Waltley and I talked in January, and I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, you froze.
It's back to basics, the things that we're taught. And then
Oops.
Uh,
Michelle, you keep freezing. I don't know if you can hear us. Well, I'm sure she's telling us what a fabulous year she's having.
do think.
Michelle, you keep freezing.
I don't know why shoot, should I try and walk in the other room?
The last thing we heard was back to basics.
Back to basics. Let me see. Am I still frozen?
No, you're not
No.
frozen right now.
Okay, let me see if I can go in maybe another office that has better reception. So here I'm going to walk through our office.
You never know what's going to happen on this. See, Michelle, walk
You
through
never
our
know.
office.
It's fun, the things that happen live, right? So I do think a large part of this is back to basics and making my calls. I hold quarterly client events. And, I send birthday cards to everybody. I reach out not only to my sphere, but I can't stress this enough. It's connecting with agents. I know now I'm dark, huh? It's connecting with agents. And I really reach out to a lot of agents. I check in on them. I belong to little groups. I try and post about their birthdays. People want
that
to
deep connection. I agree.
make it. Yeah. We're not just handing off a card at R4 and saying, hey, call me. You got to call, introduce yourself, send a letter. send quarterly postcards to the people you've met at the Remax events.
Yeah.
But I do think it's working the business that you have and, work the business that you have, but make those listings that you have, try and find that next listing from it. Try and take the buyers from your open houses,
Yeah.
work smarter, not harder.
That's right. Now,
So,
Renee, so last time you were on here, you were having a hard time doing the handwritten letters, but I got one from you. So you got better at it. At least you were
I
doing
did
it.
too.
How's it going
I
now?
did.
Honestly, I've had a really tough last couple of months. Our inventory is up 57%, and I'm doing the basics, but I'm having a rough year. Honestly, it's one of the worst years I've ever had.
Wow.
I had a good first few months, and then it just dropped off. I've got listings that are just sitting there. They've been sitting there for 90 days. We've dropped them 10%, and I've got one that we might be getting an offer on it. Another one that it's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for months. It's just I can't quite figure it out. I need to do more cards. I need to have more help. Problem is, I'm doing everything myself, and between my own stuff and my son being in the hospital, my daughter being home for the summer, and everything that's gone on, I've just been caught up in all the noise rather than making sure that I'm doing all the basics I know to do. And because I don't have any help, I get lost in some of the minutia and
So,
not getting all the stuff. I'm very sporadic in my cards. My mailers, I've done my back to basics. I've done my mailers to my 1,100 farms. I've got my new magazine that goes out, but stuff's just kind of lingering. And people are like, "Yeah, we're going to do it, but it'll be in the fall now, and I'll buy it after the spring," and all kinds of different stuff that's gone on. And I just don't have that now stuff.
so Renee, one thing I want to start with is take time for yourself and your family, right?
Mhm.
That is the most important. So don't beat yourself up.
Family first.
I'm not. I've been taking care of the family and spending time with the family. I took the kids to the fair and work in the garden with them and stuff like that.
Good.
But it's more getting lost in all of the technology, and it's like
Mhm.
for a while there, I was trying to figure out all the AI stuff, and and unless I'm doing it regularly, it just fades from my mind. It just starts to
Yeah.
lose that energy on it, and then it's like I just don't have time because I'm busy doing stuff with my rentals or other properties or other stuff that's going on. And it's like I need someone to help me, and that's probably the biggest thing that I need. And I think y'all have that help, because when I have that help, it keeps me more on track. Talking to you guys keeps me more on track. And when I'm in my own head and doing my own stuff, I get distracted and down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. No, I get that. I
Well,
mean, I think we can all
I
have that issue, but I think too,
we
like going back to the basics, and maybe don't try to add 500 new things. I usually try to add one new thing a year that in my heart I believe will give me 5 extra sales. So I have found
yeah.
that real estate agents are good about going to conferences and then trying to redo their life. And I think that's really hard to do. But if you pick one thing that you can add to what you're already doing, just to increase those sales by a few, maybe it would be easier than trying to tackle AI in the very beginning. I don't know.
Right.
I think.
AI is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
have a
actually,
challenge with that too, Renee. And before that, go ahead, Angela.
oh no, go ahead, Michelle. Mine was going to go on a
Angela,
different
go ahead.
subject.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do have a challenge with AI. It's not easy for me either. And I think I'm very fortunate that I have a very young assistant who is very techy.
She is so
I'm
fast.
always like, she is awesome. And then, I also have my marketing director who's younger. So I think that generation just has a leg up on us. But
Yeah.
as far as I agree with Jennifer, incorporate one or two things. So even with the 75-day hard challenge, it can be overwhelming for some people. Okay, so take one thing and incorporate that for the first 30 days. Maybe
That's
it's
right.
making your calls. Maybe it's incorporating the cards like Renee finally did. Do one thing.
Which
and
was
then,
good. That was a win, Renee.
That was a big win. I know we were all very excited. But then, in 30 days, when you get into a better routine with writing cards, then add something else.
Right.
It doesn't have to be major stuff. Maybe you make one card and call it a day. Well, that's better than nothing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
am
know?
Yeah.
on our last mastermind meeting of the group that I have and kind of spearhead, we talked about like just implementing like 3 little things that are really easy for all of us. And I know that it makes a big difference in my business. And that's call one of your Remax agents every day.
Mhm.
Make 20 calls a month. You don't have to talk to them. Leave them a message,
Yeah.
because some of us are busy. At least they know that you thought of them.
Mhm.
And it may be just personal stuff. How are you doing? If you know about their lives and what's going on,
I like that.
or just business in and of itself. Another one was if you have new construction in your market, then visit 2 new construction neighborhoods a month so that you get to know the new construction in the area.
That's right.
Because it's not like, and I know all of us have been in it for a while, it's not like when you used to have the books that had all the neighborhoods, or you can go to the sites, or not all of them put them in our MLSs. So you don't know. So drive around and
Mhm.
visit. And then I took this one from the 75-day challenge with Michelle. It is so easy to get out and give 3 strangers a compliment every day. You would be amazed at how many conversations I've started just by walking my neighborhood, going to the coffee shop, saying, "Hey, I love your shoes." Or, notice that
Mhm.
like a lot of my male friends, "Oh, you got a haircut. That looks awesome." Because males, their hair is always usually short. So when a female notices that they got a haircut, it's like a big deal. Same for females. But anyway, I digress on that. But I
I
think
love it.
that those are 3 things that are just
I
easy.
love that. Angela, I love that. Growing up, my kids would always laugh at me, Mom, you talk to everybody. It's just my
Same.
personality, number one. But 2, you're at Costco. Oh my gosh, I love that shirt. You chit chat it up. Oh, thanks, Sarah, for helping me today. I hope you have a great day. People like that. It
Agree.
makes them feel important. Same thing with your wait staff when you're at a restaurant. Thank them. It goes a long way. And before you know it, you're having a conversation and it turns to, what do you do? Oh, I'm a realtor. Oh, I have a friend looking. Ding, ding, ding.
That's
It's
right.
basic.
Oh, the other day it was so hot, and a lot of the mail trucks here don't have air condition. So my mailman has the old truck that you hear going, so I can always hear when he's heading my way. And I was working from home. I grabbed a bottle of water from my refrigerator and took it out to him. So, because who better than your mailman to know who's moving?
Mhm. That's right. Ooh, good call. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I did not do everything every day for the 75.
Right.
I didn't. But I
That's hard.
designed this to help me stay on track, to help me elevate my business, to help me get back to basics. And, I said this on the first and second calls we've had. I was overwhelmed at the response from everybody wanting to participate and the magnitude of how everybody took it and created their own groups. But we all need it. We all need to support each other and build business together. And so I appreciate everybody jumping on my bandwagon, because it definitely made me more accountable. And there were times that my husband would say, "Did you journal today?" "I'm journaling tonight right before bed." He knows my routine. But to get that support from him too. "Did you, you're not going tonight or this morning to Orange Theory. Are we playing pickleball, or do you want to go on a hike?" So he was very supportive and aware of what I needed to do.
Wow. That's
That's
good though, because you need that support.
You need that support. You really do. We need to have that partner that's going to support us as we support them.
Yeah, well, it's a hard profession, right? So
Very
That's
hard.
a good statement.
But if you have somebody that supports you, then it also helps you be a little bit more versatile because you're like, okay,
That's not,
I could go work out, but I know we
yeah.
said
I mean,
6, but now I have a listing appointment.
yeah, right. And
Somebody that understands
sometimes
that
I've caught myself
flexibility.
coming home. Sometimes I'll come home early and Jerry will look at me, "You're home early? How long do you have to work for tonight?" He knows
Yeah,
that
that's right.
there's more work to be done.
That's
So
right. Well,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
important.
Hey,
But
Michelle, what do you
I'm
think? Michelle, what do you think changed that? Because all of a sudden you popped into a much higher price range. What do you think changed that caused that?
That's a good question.
Well, I think it's like everything. It takes time to plant that seed. And when you get one in the next price bracket, then people in that bracket are watching you. This particular client, the 5.6, they were friends for many, many years. I helped her when she had her first divorce. I helped her brother. So they've been there, but I knew they have other friends that are agents. And I interviewed for it. I said, I would
Wow.
love the opportunity to interview.
Do you think
Give me
your
the
videos
shot.
have made? Do you think
And
your videos have made a difference?
I do.
That's a good question.
I
You do or
do
don't,
think
would you
videos
say,
make a
Michelle?
difference.
Yeah, because your
So
videos have
the other thing,
changed.
my videos have changed. I have always, I would say for probably 8 years, I've done Facebook videos and they've evolved over the years. But I've never been afraid to jump on and just wing it. And I've done Facebook Live, and sometimes I can't believe that.
Oh,
Part
Michelle, you're
part
going
two
in
of
and out
that
Michelle,
is,
again.
Michelle, you're cutting out again.
Yeah.
oh, I am?
Yeah. Well, you're good now, but yes, you were.
Okay. Gosh, that's so weird. I don't know why. I'm in the best part of the office. But I do think videos, I think social media is a huge component.
Yeah, I do too.
And so when I go on these listing appointments, not only do I take, the paper marketing material for them, I've downloaded onto a designated iPad so
Wow.
they can see the videos I've done for different properties.
Wow. That's a
Some of
great
these
idea.
people aren't techie, and so they're not on social media, but they want to see what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
that is a big selling factor. So I take my iPad, has my listing presentation on there. It has videos from a variety of homes, condos to castles to whatever, and they can see that I do my videos directed towards those homes.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think that's
awesome.
big.
Oh, I
I
think
will
that's
say
wonderful.
another person that's really good with those videos is Amy Lee Lucas. Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah. Oh
Her
yeah.
And her
Oh,
videos
videos have changed also
is on
recently.
a whole different level.
Yeah. But
it's a
they've
whole
changed
different
also
level.
recently.
Yeah. She does a great
Yeah.
job with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to speak this into
She's
existence.
amazing.
I
She's amazing.
I was at meeting my friends out for a drink, and it was the end of the year, and the teachers were at this same little pub in the area that I was with my friends, and I knew one of the teachers two of the teachers that were there. So I stopped to talk to one of them. One of them was my daughter's music teacher in the elementary school.
Wow.
And I was asking him what was going on and how things were, and we were talking about my daughter, and he said, yeah, my son's doing social media stuff. And my ears just said,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have been in touch, and he talked about everything, and I'm speaking it into existence so people can hold me accountable for me to do 3 videos a week for $12 a month. And he's essentially, I do the videos, he takes them and puts them all together and makes them look like spectacular, and then tells me where to post them and how to make, gives me lessons if I need them. And at some point I'll probably be asking him to just take it over. So
That's awesome.
I'm
Congratulations. I'm proud of
very
you.
excited at the same time
Yes.
because
That's
I do
awesome,
not like
though.
being on camera.
Yeah.
You'll do it, though.
It's
Once you
fun.
do a couple of them, you get better at it. And you don't care
You
anymore.
do. You do. You do.
Yeah.
But, I think, Renee, back to that question, how to get into that next bracket, I think part of it is I have been doing this for 20 years and clients have watched me evolve and build the business, and I have the experience. And I think sometimes it can take time. I've been very active with my kids in their sports when they were growing up with the school foundation and PTA. So I was always making these connections. And Jerry and I joined a country club just for the pickleball benefit. And now I've got a buyer from there.
Wow. Yeah, you do, Mama.
So,
Good.
it's becoming friends with people, knowing the pockets. Repost or go do your own video. I'm touring this, 2.7 home or 3.5 or whatever it is. I'm touring this home today for a client. Nobody has to know if it's a real client or not. They see that you're touring a home, and that, yes, can be that simple. Here we have broker caravans. I know when I put that on the 75 hard, some people were like, well, we don't really do those. So go do your own caravan. Go tour a home that's vacant. Go tour an open house and post about it. And you don't have to personally, show the camera on yourself. You can show the house and narrate as you go through.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Great
it.
idea.
So I think that shows people, oh, I didn't know he worked in that price point.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great idea. I mean, we have tour every day
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
for a different city
So,
every
yeah.
single day.
We
So
don't
it's
have
like
tours
a
here.
lot of stuff out there, a lot of things to tour right now.
And that's how it is for us. Rancho Bernardo is one day, Poway is another day,
Same.
Encinitas, Carlsbad, they all have a different day of the week. So there's always an opportunity.
Wow.
Yep. That's a good
That
idea.
is really good for agents that are newer into the business too, because I remember when we did used to do tours, that was how, even though I was from the area, that's how I learned price points, neighborhoods,
Yeah.
streets,
Wow.
back before there was GPS
Yes.
and you had to read the MLS sheet to get where you're going and hope that the agent put in the right directions.
That's right. That's right. So, I hope people will continue with this and start it again and just incorporate what you can, because there's a huge benefit to just making calls or just sending cards. And I know, Jennifer, you did a challenge with your office, with your team, just making calls.
I did. Yes. Yes.
So how
Like
big
I said, I
was
was going to
just
put out
that
there.
one?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, how big was that in your business? How did that change your business?
Having a call night. Well, I mean, I
Mhm.
think all of it, like everything I've done, I think has led to my year being a great year. But I'm a big proponent of call nights. And I like it when we come in here as a team, because it's also really hard to do that. I mean, like call so many people, it kind of gets exhausting. But when you're in there encouraging each other and cheering each other on, it's fun. Yeah.
So how
So
did
it
you
was
do
good.
your
It
call
was
night?
really good. What?
How did your call night work?
So it depends on what we're doing. So there's a group of newer agents and I that are going to the Mike Ferry conference coming up in 2 weeks in Vegas. So that call night we did, like the past 3 weeks we've done them, and we focused on like Mike Ferry scripts. So just listed, just sold, and expired listings, trying to prepare everybody for that conference. But before that, we'll have different things like the most recent people on the website, the people that have been on the website the longest. We kind of tag them, then we practice scripting before we make the phone calls, and then we talk about our wins. So yeah, last week I think I got 4 appointments set. So that was good in 2 hours.
Wow.
So very intense phone calls, yes.
And so you bring your team in and everybody has a list of people they need to call, and you have
That's right.
scripts for them.
Yeah, so
And
we
so do
practice
you
the scripts usually a couple days. Like last time we did it on a Thursday. So on Monday, we pulled our list. We talked about who we were going to call, what we were going to say, and then started practicing the scripts a little bit every day so that on Thursday, they were ready.
Now, do do some type of incentive, the one who makes the most calls or gets the most appointments, or?
No, I need to. In the past, I've done like little gift, like a Starbucks gift card or something
Yeah.
little like that. I mean, their incentive is that they get money when they close these people. So,
Yeah.
but it would make it
True.
more fun if we had some challenges. And we've done that in the past. I just haven't done that lately. But that's a good
I
idea.
like it. I like
So
it.
Yeah.
the three of you, what, like from the 75-day hard challenge, if you had to say you took away one thing from it that impacted you personally and or your business, what would it have been off of the 75-day hard challenge?
Me personally is not to go outside and go for a walk, because you get busy and you forget. And I know that sounds stupid, but you really truly do.
Mhm.
Or
I like
maybe
that.
you're just using that as an excuse not to do it. But when it was on my daily checkboard, then I was
Mhm.
like, oh shit, I have to go walk. Not that I have to go walk, but oh my God, I need to go walk. I've been here for like
Right?
6 hours.
Yeah. But I like that. And I tried to put on there that it doesn't mean you go out and walk for an hour. You can go take a 10, 15-minute break. Break it up.
Yeah.
Get some air, reset.
Yeah. And Denise says, nice dress. If you look on there, my daughter Grayson has the same one. And then
Yeah.
Melanie's asking what program I use for just listed, just sold. I use Vulcan 7. I do just listed, just sold, and expired listings from Vulcan 7.
So I think for me, my big takeaway was not feeling like I need to have my phone with me 7/24
Yeah.
and take the mental break and disconnect from social media, and try and structure my time. So that's been what I really needed to work on. Was it's okay not to look at my phone for an hour and focus on this. Come back, check, make sure I return the calls and text and emails, but to just take that break and focus on the task at hand.
Yeah. Yeah. You
For
went
me,
outside.
I'm pretty connected to my.
Sorry. What were you saying, Renee?
I would just say, Angela, for me, it was probably the importance of the handwritten notes. I mean, just the feedback from you all, receiving them, people sending, posting, "Hey, asshole, I got your card." It's like staying in touch with the agents. Whether you get the feedback or not, that how good I feel when I get them, and how appreciative others are when they receive them.
Yeah. No, I like
Right.
that too.
It is. It's nice to get mail, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so
Something
old. It's so old fashioned.
Yeah.
It is, but it's effective.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
right.
Well, good.
I would say mine was.
So what about yours, Angela? What was yours? That was a good question.
I'm gonna say it was probably the handwritten notes, because I had gotten away from that, and just connecting with people, even with anything going on in their life. Somebody had a baby, somebody had a death in the family, just showing them that you
Care.
that you care, and you're not just
Mhm.
Yeah.
contacting them, for real estate purposes.
That's right.
Exactly.
So, and then the other was putting down my phone before bed, and
Mhm.
taking my 30 to 45-minute walk without my phone. I mean, it's just so refreshing to not have something dinging at you or ringing at you,
Mhm.
That's
that
right.
you can take a break and have some mental clarity and have a thought other than real estate.
Yeah. But I always
Because
think it's
when
funny. What other profession do you have to remind yourself to get off your phone? Like,
Right?
But you do.
Yeah,
You're 100% right though,
you
because you're
do.
so connected and you're so used to it being with you all the time that it gives you a little bit of sense of anxiety when you put it down, but it's a relief too, because it also gives you anxiety to have to be connected 24 hours a day. Right?
It does. It does. So are you three going to continue with some of these items in a
Yes.
daily,
Always.
trying to incorporate?
Yeah.
Yes. Which ones are y'all now? You want to make me accountability? I need to get my list out. Which ones are y'all going to commit to continuing?
for me writing the
Well,
cards. I got my stack right next to me and all the business cards right here, and it's just the discipline of me doing it. And then doing just I need to just do the stuff on there is the stuff we know to do. I know to do it.
right.
I know what I'm supposed to
Mhm.
do each day. I just
Yeah.
I'll start on social media, and then all of a sudden there's, whether it's group A, group B, or group C, and I got to respond to all those people. And then you start that dialogue and making sure I don't get caught up in that rabbit hole, and that I time block that so that I make sure that I cut that off, because I can always go back to that later in the day or the following day or whatever it is, and no one's going to die.
Right. Exactly.
Although it does
Exactly.
seem like it.
I don't know
The
about you
funny,
guys,
the,
but
the,
it's the
the
same with. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Renee. You were
I was just
finishing.
going to say, the funny part about putting your phone down, when I'm down in my garden and I have this huge garden, I don't take my phone, and my wife goes, "Well, why didn't you call me back?" And it's usually her or the kids. It's like, because I didn't have my phone. What do you mean you didn't have your phone with you? It's like, when I'm in the garden, I don't have my phone with me, so I didn't respond. Well, you should have been on your watch. I said, well, I didn't have my watch on because I didn't want to be contacted for an hour. It's a catch-22.
Yeah, it
It,
is.
it is. But I love that you said I didn't want to be contacted for an hour. Well
Yeah.
done, Renee. I mean, you
I mean,
took your break.
you got to set expectations.
Yeah, that's right.
You
No,
have
with the expectations with the family is the family says, my daughter tracks me on Life 360. She tracks me. So I know where daddy is, 'cause they track me wherever I am. I
He's
got nothing to
home.
hide, but
Yes.
Dad, what's your schedule today? Where are you going to be today, Dad? She's
Yeah.
20 and she's like so organized and keeping track of where the family is, It's
Yes.
crazy.
There's just sometimes you don't want to be tracked.
I
That's
don't
just
want
what
to be
it
trapped. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I like it.
I don't mind,
But yeah,
Well,
it is.
good.
I loved doing all this. It definitely. I mean, a lot of us are in different groups,
Yeah. That's
different
right.
mastermind groups, and then you add on all the different groups that are out there. Hey, I need a buyer and or seller in this market, and you try. I just had to. Some of those groups, I just had to not turn off, but tone down,
Yeah.
because I think you can get caught up in the FOMO
Hmm.
of things in our business.
That is true.
That is true.
Especially, when you're missing maybe a lead, or you're missing, something that is in a social media setting. I know there's a lot of chit chat going on right now, for the luxury elite thing going on. And there are some days that I have to put my phone down or turn it on silent,
Yeah. Right.
because it just gives you anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
don't.
because then you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's
And that
so
rabbit
easy to
hole,
go
I
down
could
that
get lost
rabbit
that
hole
rabbit
on
hole
social
for
media.
days.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
That's where I think going back to the basics of something, and don't worry about that you may have missed this lead that came up in any of these Facebook sites.
That's right.
Right.
Call someone that
That's
is a Remax agent or a friend, because the more you talk to them, you're gonna it's
The
something
other will come.
gonna
That's right.
come of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because it's
Agreed.
genuine.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm glad so many people have taken pieces of this and started building their business, because I know for a lot, like you said, Renee, it's been a tough year. And I know for a lot of people that's the case. And going back to basics and making the calls, writing the cards,
Yeah.
it brings the business. We're in a relationship business.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
right.
not one transaction, it's a relationship for life.
That's
And
right.
we have to remember, call those people. I was talking to Peggy Young last week, and she said, oh my gosh, I started this coaching program, and the coach said, Peggy, you have to go back and call your sphere. She said, Michelle, I knew I needed to. You've been telling me I needed to, but how do you go back to a client that you sold a house to 4 years ago that you haven't talked to?
Yeah.
And she said, I finally did it. And what I did was I went back, I looked at what homes were selling for in that neighborhood, and I called and said, oh my gosh, I am so sorry I have not kept in touch. I can't believe it's been 4 years. Where did
I
that time go?
do that too, and send a letter.
Can you
Like,
believe your house is worth X now? And how is everything? And she said, everybody I called was so receptive. She goes, I don't know why I was so worried.
But it is because you think, oh my God, I haven't talked to them in 4 years.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be pissed. But when
Yeah.
you call, they're just excited you called.
They are. They
Yeah.
are. And we all get that overwhelming feeling like, what am I supposed to
that's
say?
right.
I haven't talked to this person.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And I even have a letter that I used to try to do it at the end of every year that just said, oh my goodness, I cannot believe it's been 2 years or 3 years or 10 years. I really, you know, whatever. But it's like in the apology letter to get, like, it's a good way back in the door.
Right. You know, another good way is start calling people on their birthdays.
Yeah.
Then it makes it easier to call in another 2 months and say, hey, thought I'd follow up. That makes that call so much easier.
That is very, very, very true. Yes.
Yeah. So, well,
I
good.
love it.
I mean, how many people in our personal lives that maybe live in another state or that we used to hang out with at certain stages of our lives, we just call them up and it's like you never left that moment. You just continued the conversation. I think we should treat our sphere and our clients that way.
Yeah.
As well. Just like make it personal. Go back, like you were saying, like price of, like Peggy was saying, the price of the house, or you go back in your CRM and look for notes of stuff going, oh, I can't believe so-and-so is going to college.
Yeah, right.
No,
exactly.
at this point,
yeah,
go through Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever and look at and see what's happening in their lives. And
I mean, that's a great point. Yeah. Angela, that's a great point. Go look at their Facebook page before you call. Oh my gosh, I see Tommy graduated. Oh, I see you have a baby. All these things. And then just don't make it about real estate.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's about the relationship.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, you're right. 100% right. And I found you can find things on social media, and then you can even print them off and mail it to them and say, hey, I saw this picture. Congratulations on the new grandchild, or congratulations on kindergarten or the new puppy or whatever. They're proud of whatever they're posting. You know,
that's a great idea, Jennifer, to print it off social media and say, I saw this. Congrats.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll put it in a cute little frame. You know, I had one that was, she'd gotten a new dog, and I found a frame that had dog footprints all the way around it. So I framed it and sent it. And they like it. I mean, they'll keep it forever. And then they think about you when you sent, you know, in fact, you took the time to do that.
Well, and I think in such a digital society, it still is how you make people feel. How
it is.
We're human. People like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not what you say, it's how you make them feel. So
I agree with that.
Just connect. And if you can connect, they're always going to remember how you made them feel.
That's right. No, I agree.
Well said.
Very good. So we're all going to keep up with phone calls. What else did we say?
Taking a walk.
Taking walks.
Walking daily. Put down your phone. What about you, Renee?
Yep. Taking a break from the phone.
And Hillary says Dr. Seuss. Is that which Dr. Seuss is she were talking about? Do y'all know?
Oh, Hillary's commenting. Oh, because she said she posted earlier that she has FOMO this year because she's pregnant. And so she won't be going to R4.
Who's that?
I saw one of her previous
Hillary Marshall
comments there. So yeah. So
it's exciting.
She's due, I think, end of October, beginning of November.
Jennifer, to your question, really continuing on with just blocking my time, sending my cards. And as my old mentor used to have me do, it's called an hour of power every day, where it's just an hour of phone calls. You know, whatever it is, three warm calls to friends, 3 to agents, and 3 to past clients to start off with, and just doing my calls. I love doing the calls. I've just been so distracted with everything in my life.
Yeah.
You know, as some of you know, it's like I haven't slept in weeks, you know, due to the back surgery and the stuff that's been going on. And Audra's been a wonderful, I don't know if Audra's on, but, you know, she has been a delightful emotional support because of all the stuff she's gone through with her body, and just doing everything to just really stay focused, whatever I have to do that on a daily basis. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that, Renee.
Well,
Staying
good.
focused. And I think consistency. Consistency has been my one word for several years now, because and somebody said in there, I was reading earlier, somebody said about ADHD. I am prime candidate. So I'm always like squirrel, 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 squirrel. So I have like a dry erase board literally right in front of me. That's like, okay, a couple of things that I need to be consistent on. So I'm trying to get there still, but being consistent with the videos, with the calls, with the handwrite, the notes, with the walking, with everything in life. Consistency, I found to be the most important.
Oh, and the other thing was complimenting strangers.
Yeah, there you go. That's right, Angela. Complimenting strangers. That's awesome. You know, and I think that's a really good one too, because I think we're quick to judge negatively others. So it's important to stop and make us pay attention to the positive that's around us as well.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
agree.
So awesome. I think this has been really good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us on so often, Jennifer.
And I appreciate
you guys for participating and contributing and
Michelle,
all the little nuggets that you've taken into things too.
Yeah.
You know what I appreciate honestly is all your energy, you know, and just stimulating that part of our brain that says, you know, I can do that. I can apply that. And it gives you that feeling of, hey, these are easy ideas to stay on track. And I just love your energy. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
thank
I appreciate y'all. Yes. And Michelle, you introduced me to Rene at the beginning of the year, R4, I believe it was. So, and then I got to see him again, all the other places. So it's been fun. Maybe it was last year's R4. I guess it was last.
Renee, I think we saw each other in Nashville, right? You were in Nashville, weren't you?
Yes. And then I got to see him in Nashville. So that's it. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where I'd been and seen him. Yeah. So R4, then again in Nashville, and super excited. Hopefully at Luxury this year.
Yeah.
I went through like a month of withdrawal after getting over the excitement of Nashville. You know, it's like I missed everybody. It was like such a great group and such an awesome experience.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
It was smaller, so a little bit
I like
more,
smaller.
Yeah, a little bit more personal time, I would say.
Yeah, that's right. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all. And thank you,
Jennifer.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if anybody else
thank you guys so much.
Yes.
And thanks to everybody for joining in and all your comments. I miss everybody. I feel like if we just had all lived so much closer.
Agreed, right? So do something more often. Well, if anybody else wants to be on Mind Over Market Monday, please shoot me a message and let me send you the calendar, because I am looking to fill it up for August and September. So I need people and would love it.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Everybody.
Guys.